Anatomy and Physiology, P5, LiAm Evans. Name the components of the cardiovascular system.
There are three components: the heart, the blood, and a blood vessel. The heart is a muscular pump, so when it beats, it pumps the blood to the lungs and around the body. The heart has four chambers. The two atria collect the blood, and the two ventricles pump the blood out of the heart. Valves prevent the blood from flowing backwards, and the septum separates the two sides of the heart. The right side of the heart pumps deoxygenated blood to the lungs to pick up oxygen. The left side of the heart pumps the oxygenated blood from the lungs around the rest of the body.
Okay.
The blood has four key components. So, plasma, fluid part of blood which carries carbon dioxide, hormones and waste. Red blood cells, which contain hemoglobin, which carries oxygen made in the bone marrow. The more you train, the more red blood cells are made. White blood cells are an important part of the immune system. They produce antibodies and destroy harmful microorganisms. It's also made in the bone marrow.
Yeah.
Platelets clump together to form clots, and they protect the body by stopping bleeding. Blood vessel. There are three types of blood vessel. Arteries, which carry blood away from the heart. They have thick muscular walls. Also, they have small passageways for blood and contain blood under high pressure. Veins, which carry blood to the heart, always deoxygenated apart from the pulmonary vein, which goes from the lungs to the heart.
Yeah.
Veins have thin walls, have larger internal lumen, contain blood under low pressure, and have valves to prevent blood flowing backwards. And the final one, capillaries, are found in the muscles and lungs. They are microscopic, so they're 1 cell thick. Very low blood pressure, also it's where the gas exchange takes place. Oxygen passes through the capillary wall and into the tissues. Carbon dioxide passes from the tissues into the blood.
Yeah. Describe the two types of circulation.
One type is systematic. The blood flows from the left ventricle through various parts of the body to the right atrium, i.e. from the left to the right side of the heart through the arteries and veins which transverse the whole body. The other one is the pulmonary. The blood flows from the right ventricle through the lungs to the left atrium, i.e. from the right to the left side of the heart. This circulation is responsible for oxygenation of the blood.
Yep. Using the diagram below, describe the passage of blood flow around the heart.
I can't really see it, but there's the diagram. This is how the blood flows through the heart. The red arrows obviously being oxygenated blood, and the blue arrows being deoxygenated. So as you see, it's coming. Deoxygenated blood is coming from the right ventricle up into the lungs, and then the lungs turning into oxygenated, coming back through the left atrium, through the left ventricle, and then around the body, and then it's like a circle diagram, really.
Yep. Explain cardiac output.
Cardiac output is basically the amount of blood that leaves the heart in 1 minute.
Describe the structure of the veins. This will need to be very detailed and refer to the valves, the lumen, the size of the muscle wall, and the type of blood carried, etc.
The vein valves are necessary to keep blood flowing towards the heart, but they also are necessary to allow blood to flow against the force of gravity. For example, blood that is returned to the heart from the foot has to be able to flow up through the leg. A lumen is the hollow part of an artery or vein by which the blood passes through. The blood in veins is under very lower pressure than the blood in the arteries, therefore they have a thin muscular wall. Veins carry deoxygenated blood back to the heart. The exemption to this is the pulmonary vein, which transports oxygenated blood back to the heart from the lungs, and that's set to be pumped all over the rest of the body.
Explain why the blood flows very slowly through the capillaries.
The blood flows through the capillaries slower due to diffusion. Capillaries are where fluids, gases, nutrients and wastes are exchanged between the blood and body tissues by diffusion. Capillary walls are one cell thick, so they allow certain substances to pass in and out of the blood vessels via diffusion. So this slows the velocity of the blood down.
Why is the pulmonary artery special?
The pulmonary artery is special because it carries deoxygenated blood from the right ventricle to the. Wait, let me start again. The pulmonary artery is special because it carries deoxygenated blood from the right ventricle of the heart to the lungs. All other arteries carry blood rich in oxygen.
How much of the blood is solid and how much of the blood is plasma?
Plasma makes up 55% of the blood. The other 45% is solid particles.
Describe the white blood cells, what they look like and what they do.
White blood cells typically look like a textured white ball.
Yeah.
White blood cells act as a defensive barrier. They fight off bacteria and other diseases. Also, white blood cells form a scab over a cut to stop the body losing lots of blood.
Alright. And describe the platelets, what they look like and what they do.
Platelets are shaped like discs, so they're only about 20% of the diameter of red blood cells. The most numerous cell of the blood.
Thank you for watching.